I'll tell you, John and I, as we often do, about 3 weeks ago, we're looking for some interesting ideas, not only to share with the Rebel Nation, but for our own portfolio. And I saw JetBlue one day was soaring. It was up about 8%. We sort of looked into why, looked into the Spirit Airlines story. This was the day before the Wall Street Journal printed the article indicating that they were exploring potential bankruptcy protection and reorganization. The stock tanked on that news. We looked a little deeper and put on a trade for ourselves. We bought the January call options, which gives us the right, of course, to buy Spirit Airlines stock at $1.50 a share. I believe that's a January 15 expiration, John, because we looked at what happened in the last 4 major airline reorganizations, how the stocks performed, and made a judgment call that this was not a company that was going to be let go of by its creditors. And of course, the first deadline that was coming up on this one was the 21st of October, today, with the creditors that support their credit card processing facility. I mentioned it during Cocktail Hour Live, John, with our audience on Friday, that I thought there's no way that the creditors providing that facility to Spirit are going to let it die so they can't process all of their credit card transactions. It was going to get extended. Well, guess what, folks? Stock was at almost a 52-week low on Friday, $1.50, as we were reporting that on Cocktail Hour. And I indicated, man, this thing ain't going in the can. Sure enough, 2.5 hours later, after the close, it gets reported that, yes, in fact, they came to an arrangement with their creditors for their credit card facility so they can keep on flying, keep on trucking, keep on selling tickets. Now, look, they got hundreds of millions of dollars in senior secured notes expiring next year and the year after. The 2025 notes do need to get renegotiated. We think that they will, and this thing's going to be saved, if you'll excuse the pun. Stock's up, 65% today. Not so bad. And our position, John, I'm not going to give dollar amounts, but I looked in one of our institutional accounts. Our trade on this one in those January calls is up 83% in 2.5 weeks. That ain't bad.
Bang. That is indeed. And I don't know if I could add anything to it, Mark. So I'm not going to belabor it, but I am going to say that, of course, many of you would get out there and say, well, at $1.80, let me buy a bunch of stock. You might have, and then you might have decided to punt it or get out of it when it fell to $1.50, like Mark said. But when you're buying a 60-cent option or a 55-cent option, which is what we were doing, you can hold on a lot longer, especially if you have a January time frame. And those options paying off bigly for both of us today. So bang.